Right, here we go, just a quick update really on where we were this morning. So start with Bitcoin, and by the way, I'm not a financial advisor, it's not a financial advice. So let's have a quick look then. So yeah, to be honest with you, we've been making higher lows and higher highs out of this bottom end of the consolidation that we've had, and it's not the absolute bottom. There's a few things we've got going for us, there's a few things we've got going against us, and we've got to balance out what the likelihood is of this breaking to the up or down. And I've got to say from the start, at the moment, it's definitely a bit of a 50-50. It's a no trader really for me until it breaks above a certain sort of area really. And even then I'll be a little bit cautious, we'll just have to see. So I'm happy just to wait this one out and see what happens. But that said, let's see if we can balance this out. So overall, when we zoom back after this technically parabolic area, we've consolidated, we've bounced from this descending trend here, we've bounced big rejection here, big rejection here, big rejection here. But on this occasion, when we were rejected, we actually made a higher low, so that's a positive. Until we get to this area again, we can't really say if this is still a giant continuation of a correction period. This could be a bit of a fake out area, we just don't know yet. So that's obviously a negative thing, but this is a positive thing. So we've got lower highs, but we do now have higher lows. And if we zoom into what's been going on very recently, we can also see that we've actually got both higher highs and higher lows on this area to try and break above these resistances. We're also above all moving averages just, but we are above them, but we did have this green under the white, which is the death cross, so that's against us. So you can see how this is all stacking up 50-50. Where this blue box territory here is right in the bang on in the middle of a resistance box. This would be the first one, which it broke, and it looks like every time it's come down to test it, it's held. Excuse me. Oh, this computer's killing me. So yeah, you can see how we've bounced 1, 2, technically 3, 4, 5 times. So that's very strong, this area. Not just this blue box, but specifically where it's actually bouncing from the second 2 times, because it did peak just below the blue box, is this yellow 200 simple. So that's a positive. So it's finding support. Not only in the box but on this green 50, you can see bounce there, we've got a bounce there, we've got support, and it looks like a bit of a launch pad as well actually on this 200 EMA. But all these levels of support seem to be holding up relatively well, but we are right now coming down after trying to take our way up to the first, well, should I say the first part of the second resistance box of 11,000. We didn't quite get that far. We got close, but we didn't get to that far. But we might as well consider that as first attempt. So yeah, we came down as a result of that, and actually came down quite hard, but found a decent bounce. Found a decent bounce again. But we're still in the first box, kind of in the middle. So to me, it's definitely a no trader. We need to break into this one and above it for me to start to get excited again. Then it would be something that I would be considering. Yep, we're going up again, and I would be looking at putting on a long and things like that. So it's basically, it's a no trader. We've got to work it out. In the short term, it looks like it might be burning out. To be honest with you, there's a chance it could fizzle out. In all fairness. Let's have a look on the daily time frames from the MACD. It's not very pointy, so it could be fizzling out for a bit. I think overall we're going to be looking at a bit of a sideways movement in general. Not likely to see huge moves up or down at the moment until we resolve this area. Now if we break underneath all these moving averages, I would definitely say we come back down to test this area here of 10,000. But if we break up and we make a bigger wick, or a candlestick even better, but a wick into this blue box territory, a little bit deeper into it, towards the 11,200, then it's time definitely to get excited. But at the moment, I think we're looking for sideways action, and I'd be surprised if we saw any big moves for the rest of today. We'll move that on then, we'll move on to Matic. So Matic will look at the tether values and the tether chart. So yeah, overall, so we broke out this trend, we broke to the down, which was bad, but now we've resolved ourselves to the up, which is it's something. It's not amazing, but it's something. We had our golden cross here, and we avoided a death cross. At the moment we've avoided the death cross. We need to stay at this level or above really to continue to avoid that. We can't really afford to come much further down. We could probably make our way down to around 1.45 cent and be comfortable and not get a death cross. But if we went much lower than that for a prolonged period of time, I'm talking like a day or two, we would get a death cross, and we might just have a continuation of this move. The market looks like it wants to go floppy again, because Bitcoin's not moving, and to be honest with you, it looks like the market in general is looking a bit tired at the moment. A lot of people probably lost confidence on it, really, considering where all the alts have gone. So Bitcoin dominance is still quite high, so alts in generally I would expect them to be going sideways and maybe a little move to the down. Probably not bottomed out yet, really. So that's what I'm expecting. So if Matic can avoid any of that and stay sideways and maybe go a little further up, that'd be great. But what we've got to go for is similar to the way Bitcoin is, really. These moving averages, the green 50, we're actually sort of moving on the 50 simple here. It looks like we're trending down with it, and that would be a shame if we did. But we've got a green 50 exponential, we've also got the 200 EMA, we've got the 200 simple. All should act as supports, like what I showed you with Bitcoin. They should all have their own sort of level of support, and that kind of works out at the moment roughly about where I think the supports would be in general. We've got a decent support roughly around 1.45 cent. That would be a decent support, and the last area of support is down here at 1.35 cent. They've been our supports for a short while anyway, after this sort of move. So really, I think if I was to put my money on it, I think we're probably going to see a little move down anyway, probably back down to test our support here of 1.45 cent before we see another move to the up, unless of course Matic tweets something incredible. Anyway, now we'll move on to Kin, which is my secret little guilty pleasure. That's annoying. So let's have a look at what's going on with this one then. I'm on Coin Tiger and it's very, very annoying. I'll tell you what, just bear with me. I'm just going to pause this while I sort this out. Right, sorry about that. Right, so let's have a quick look. With Kin, so we've had some decent moves as of recent, and we bounced quite significantly. We also, when we have a look at these moves as a result of that huge buy-up that someone's done, it's continued. So maybe that's just people getting interested in it now, because it has consolidated absolutely enormously. But basically we are above all moving averages, and actually we have if we have a look here, we've got this green here, which is the 200 EMA. We've got this blue going up here, that's the 50 EMA, and beneath that we've got the 200 simple and the 50 simple. We've got golden cross basically on both versions, so that's quite good in the short term. Now this could be playing out as a result of that golden cross. Who knows if it's got any further to go. So let's have a quick look at where the sort of resistances are. So at the moment we're in the middle of a resistance area, so it's going to be struggling to make bigger moves out of this. This will be a slow area for it to grow in, if it's going to grow at all. It could all completely fall to pieces, because that's all it's done throughout this whole year and beyond. So it's just been going down ever since. So we're going to have a workout really. So this bit here, these two rejection points here, that correlates to where it was falling around here, essentially being rejected and couldn't get above. So that if that were to get tested again, probably will break down, be rejected again. It's quite strong, and this coin is, it's next to worthless at the moment. So yeah, it's going to be very weak getting above there, but for whatever reason, if it does break above there and get out of this blue box territory, then we've got these two major points of resistance to get above. This one clearly, where we rejected here, it's not just a fluke. We can also see that this is where it began to really break down before it had this huge move of around 300% down. So that area isn't just nothing. It's not insignificant. It does correlate to this one back here, leading me to believe that would be a very strong resistance. And again, this one at the top of this blue box territory here, also very strong, because that's the last point that we saw it ever quite high before it fell all the way back down here. So that area is going to be a tough nut to crack all the way through it, because this is where it really started to break down. All of this area is going to be very, very difficult to break out of. But if we do break above there, I think at that point we could say that there's a really significant recovery, and we'll start to see enormous growth with Kin. But we've got some really big battles ahead of us. So even things look good in the short term, we really need to see, I guess, in a way, we need to kind of see a bit of consolidation actually after this move, and to see how that consolidation plays out, because we can't just keep going up. That's not going to work out for us. We need to sort of we need to work this out, how it's going to move. We can't just go off the back of this little blip, which is essentially all it is. We've had somebody decide to buy up loads of it for whatever reason. And I'm talking lots of it. That is lots. That's like 150% move from top to bottom. So somebody bought a lot, and then people have been buying ever since. So, like I say, it could completely fall to pieces. I want to see a little consolidation, perhaps maybe down to this area here. I wouldn't want to go much further than there, which would be 0.000018, you could say. That area, if we come down to that area and bounce, it might be a very good sign for a continuation above these areas. I wouldn't want to see anything lower than that, and if we did come lower than that, it would be around this area, which would be 0.00016, you could call it. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I hope you have a nice day or evening, and take care.